Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Salem. If you are still making your way in, come on in, find a comfortable seat. If you're joining us online, I hope you have a comfortable seat where you are. Welcome and thank you for gathering once more on this beautiful morning in this hurting world. We know that there is so much that is hard in our lives, in the greater life of our country, in the greater life of our world, and we come carrying that this morning. So thank you for choosing to come and to be together. I am the Reverend Monica Jacobson. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve this congregation as minister. Leading worship with me today are Janet Stevens as our celebrant, our Director of Religious Education, Molly Brown, is telling our story, Joan Stembridge is our Lifelines lay minister, our music director, Grace Curran, is leading our hymns, Lori Ann Schmidt is at the piano, and Corin Navarez is at the tech table. It always, always takes many hands, many voices, many people to co-create worship when we gather. We gather this morning, as we always do, as a community of seekers, each and every one of us carrying questions and searching for wisdom and inspiration to help us live lives of meaning. And my goodness, are we called to live lives of meaning in these times? We know that what we need to do now is to gather to support each other. We know that we live amidst manufactured chaos, distressing and disturbing events, and that in times like these, we need each other. And when we gather, we remind each other of the many, many people who are joining together in building beloved communities that value and care for each and every person. We know we are some of these people. We know some of these people are ones that we care for and love. And we know that many, many of them are people we will never even meet, but to whom we are connected by our sincere commitment to a world where everyone can flourish. You are welcome here this morning. As always, exactly as you are. Whatever beliefs sustain you, whomever you love, however you understand and express your identities, whatever you are struggling with, and in every way you are still becoming the person you will be. Your presence as your authentic self is a gift to all of us. So thank you once more for choosing to enter in to this gathered community. Will you join me in taking a good deep breath? Maybe the first one you've had in 24 or 36 hours. Feel the air come in, feel it go out. Know that you are here among all these people. You are not anywhere else. And that in this interconnection, we hold and sustain each other. In that spirit, come, let us worship. Please rise in body, in voice, or in spirit to join in our gathering hymn, number 288. It's in the gray hymnal, and it'll be on the slides.
Structure that we raise, time is with materials filled. Summer days and yesterdays are the built today, then strong and sure, with a firm and ample base, and ascending and secure, shall tomorrow find its place.
I invite you to please join with me and recite our affirmation. Love is our doctrine, compassion is our way. Here we seek to create a joyful home for free religious exploration, build a community of caring fellowship, nurture the hopes, and serve the needs of our world. As is our tradition here at UUCS, we will light 3 chalices this morning. The first is for all the members and friends of UUCS. The second is for our partner church in Siemanfalva, Transylvania. And we light a lantern for all children and youth who carry our hopes into the future. In these times of rapid change, may we remember to use our inner light and strength to heal, not to harm, to help, not to hinder, to bless, not to curse, and to serve our world and support each other on our journeys, wherever they may lead. Please join me in singing the flames into life.
Good morning. Can everybody young or young at heart please join me up front for a story? Come on, guys. Welcome. Hello. Hi, you can sit wherever you'd like up here. Good morning. Hello. Well, thank you. How's everybody doing? Good. Today, we're exploring the challenge of resisting distraction, overwhelm, anger, and worry, what Buddhists call the monkey mind. The monkey mind is that restless part of us that's always jumping from thought to thought, never content to sit still. It's the feeling of being pulled in 100 directions by all our shoulds, what ifs, and what's next. As Unitarian Universalists, we seek wisdom from many faith traditions, and Buddhism offers deep insight into how we can calm our monkey mind and live with more peace and calm. So with that in mind, I want to share a tale with you, which helps us to see just how tricky and how teachable our monkey minds can be. Once long ago, a man received a wonderful present from a master, a magical monkey that could do anything the man asked of it. Well, of course he was thrilled. He took the monkey along with him and asked it to do all sorts of useful things. In no time at all, it would finish each task and come running back to the next order. The man had the monkey build him a house. In no time at all, the monkey had finished it. Now our friend was really thrilled. What's not to like? The man went to bed for the night and found out. The monkey kept pestering him. Now, what do you want me to do? What next? The man could never rest ever. Day and night, the monkey hounded him with requests for more work, which it finished in no time. Then it was back for more. At his wit's end, the man went back to the master. Help! You've got to give me a way to deal with this monkey so that it doesn't keep on bothering me day and night. What can you do? The master gave him one curly hair. He said, have the monkey make the hair go straight. The master demonstrated pulling the hair straight. As soon as he let go, the hair bounced back to its former shape. That was it. The man took the hair and gave it to the monkey, ordering it to make the hair go straight. The monkey sat down, fully focused on the little hair. He pulled it straight. It bounced back. He pulled it again. It bounced back again. So it went for about a minute. The man raced to his bed and gratefully passed out. Just like that man in the story, we all have our own monkey minds, always busy, always jumping from one thing to the other. But what I love about this story is how it reminds us that peace isn't found by doing more or controlling every thought, but by finding ways to gently give our minds something steady to focus on. A breath, a word, a flame, a moment of gratitude. In that quiet space, we discover what the Buddhist master already knew. Calm isn't something we chase, it's something we create. Okay, and if you can stand up and create the love arch, we will be on our way. Thank you.
My childhood did not include bedtime prayers or grace before meals. Although I understood the concept of prayer, to be honest, as a kid, I thought it was silly. I'm an agnostic humanist, so I turn to science when I want to know what works. I wasn't able to find scientific evidence that prayer changes outcomes, but many scientific studies have shown that prayer has a positive impact on the well-being of the person who is praying. The act of prayer may significantly reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. It may offer comfort, meaning, and a sense of control, and it may help those who pray to relax and become more self-aware. For many, it works as a powerful coping mechanism and a spiritual tool. Right now, the world is on fire. I'm frightened and I'm angry. And because I want to do all I can, I participate in demonstrations, boycotting, and just general disruption. Because I'd like to keep what's left of my sanity, I practice yoga and meditation. I exercise, I spend time in nature, and I find respite and spiritual support here at UUCS. Still, the enormity of the chaos is often more than I can handle. Maybe I'll try saying a prayer.
Sometimes when we gather, singing together to ground ourselves and each other is one of the things we can do that is a form of prayer, of meditation, of sustenance. We've sung this one before, so if you know it, feel free to begin to add harmonies. If it's new to you, listen, hum, sway your body, whatever feels good this morning. Because despite everything happening in the world, it remains true that what we most need is here, among us, between us, within us. So please join in singing whenever you are ready. What we need is here. 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 What we need is here, is here. What we need is here. What we need is here. What we need is here. Twice more. What we need is here. What we need is here. May you feel that in your heart, in your soul, in your bones. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Joan Stembridge, and today I'm one of your Lifelines lay ministers. Lifelines lay ministers are members of UUCS who are here to help people in times of need. We can be identified by our lavender stoles and badges. You can reach out to us by visiting the Lifelines table in Hanneman Hall each Sunday after the service, or by contacting the information in the order of service. Each week, when we gather for worship, we share the joys and sorrows of members of this community. We know that joys shared are often magnified as we celebrate together, and sorrows shared may be lightened as we are reminded that we are not alone. As I read them, we will light a candle to symbolize the truth that is shared and to remind us that what we hold together brings more of the light and understanding and compassion to us all. We have a number of sorrows and joy to share today. The first is a sorrow by Anonymous. When will it end? I heard Senator Patterson speak yesterday. Letters to your state representatives and senators help. Form letters are okay, but personal touch is better. The second is another sorrow by another person, Anonymous. Renee Good, Alex Petrie, or Pretty, Alex Pretty, excuse me, Liam Ramos. Let us say their names. Let us be strong together. Let us be united in honoring those who are gone now. Let us be beacons of peace. Another sorrow shared by Bob Muir. I am deeply saddened by the killing of Mr. Pretty and what that means for our country. And the last concern or sorrow is by Lisa Portinga. I'm sorry, Lisa. Is that right? Please send my beloved second home of Minnesota all your love, peace, and comfort at this time. And the final is a joy. And this is from the Lifelines lay ministers. We celebrated Lorna Young's life yesterday in a beautiful memorial service with family, friends, and co-workers. Lorna was smiling and well-loved. We light one final candle to remind us of the joys and sorrows carried in this community, which remain unspoken and in our hearts. Thank you.
I'm just going to name now that I got all teary in the pulpit yesterday at Lorna's memorial, and I expect to do so again today. So it is that kind of day and that kind of weekend. And it is good to be together amidst all that we are feeling. For our centering practice, I'm going to share with you a reading which has often been attributed to Lao Tse, but is not actually found anywhere in the Tao. Seems to be a misattribution. Has more to do with the work of Confucius. Before we enter into this, please understand this is not a call to achieve peace by numbing out, by tuning out, by distracting, by ignoring. This is a call toward peace, beginning with cultivating what you need to protect your own heart and soul. If there is to be peace in the world, there must be peace in the nations. If there is to be peace in the nations, there must be peace in the cities. If there is to be peace in the cities, there must be peace between neighbors. If there is to be peace between neighbors, there must be peace in the home. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. Let us breathe together for a few moments that we may cultivate that peace. May our hearts find even a little peace in our gathering today. While you remain seated, you are invited to join in singing our heart song. It is new to this community, so go ahead and listen to Grace sing it all the way through once, and then you'll be able to join in. The lyrics will be up here, or there's a version of the lyrics in your order of service, and I think there's one word that gets swapped out in each verse.
Here in the memory of those who have fallen, we are here. The memory of those who have fallen, here for the courage to be who we are. Courage to be who we are. We are standing in the memory of those who have fallen, those who have fallen, those who have fallen. We are standing in the memory of those who have fallen, standing for the courage to be who we are, courage to be who we are. We are singing in the memory of those who have fallen, those who have fallen, those who have fallen. We are singing in the memory of those who have fallen, singing for the courage to be who we are, courage to be. Now we hum.
In the axial age, people saw themselves living in a period of massive cultural crisis. The times were marked by ceaseless warfare, especially in Greece, North India, and the North China Plain, the very areas where many of the major philosophical and religious movements emerged later. In these regions, there was a pervasive sense that humans had lost their way and had forsaken the rules of conduct that enabled them to live in simple civility. It was in the midst of this cultural crisis that religious and philosophical movements began emerging. Many involved withdrawing from society and creating alternative communities based on full rejection of violence. Others emphasized transcending the fallen world here on earth altogether by imagining a higher world beyond. The movements that developed in the North China Plain focused too on creating alternative worlds. But for them, the solution was not to withdraw from society or seek higher transcendent realms, but to make changes in the very patterns of everyday life.
This is not the sermon I outlined for you on Wednesday, although it has elements of that, because this week has encompassed both the incredibly powerful actions in Minneapolis on Friday, when hundreds of clergy and thousands of citizens gathered to march, to witness, to protest, to sing, gathered to disrupt deportation flights at the Minneapolis airport. Clergy went in their clerical garb and had sit-ins in the lobbies of the Target Corporation headquarters and U.S. Bank, demanding meetings with those CEOs to say, we expect your institutions to stop being complicit in what is happening. And then people poured into the streets in massive numbers. I hope you have seen some of the footage. Filling city blocks of Minneapolis, marching in negative 10-degree weather when simply breathing is painful, to chant, "Ice out of Minnesota." These yellow stoles, which many Unitarian Universalist ministers wear, were all over the images of clergy. We are a small denomination, but we show up in large numbers. And a friend of mine texted me and said, seeing our yellow stoles everywhere is making me so proud. So grateful. I will tell you that this call for clergy went out a week in advance, and the organizers expected maybe about 100 people would come. 650 clergy, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, and indeed enough Unitarian Universalists that we got a specific denominational shout out as, and holy cow, the Unitarians are here. 650 clergy arrived in Minneapolis on Thursday, and another 600 were waitlisted because the organizers said, we actually can't accommodate the numbers of you who want to go. And I and other friends were saying to each other, while I was still deciding if I could rearrange my week to go, the event filled and then the wait list filled. So I guess I'm supporting everyone from afar is what I'm doing. And the thousands and thousands of Minneapolis residents, of Minnesotans, of those from neighboring states who joined in marching and in the most effective general strike the United States has seen in 80 years. As everything halted in Minneapolis on Friday. That is powerful. And also, yesterday, the tragic and enraging and traumatizing killing of a legal observer. An ICU nurse at a Veterans Administration hospital who was filming activity by government agents and helping up a woman who had been pushed down when he was tackled to the ground and killed. So take a deep breath with me, because it is a lot to hold. And if you are angry, if you are afraid, if you are in despair, we can hold all of that together. Keep breathing. I told a colleague the other day that these times are really challenging my universalism. I have always been a person who believed, even before I knew there was a name for the theology, that there is nothing that can separate us from the great love from which we come and to which we return and in which we are always held. The historical and theological name for this is ultra-universalism. Everyone is universally saved, loved, incorporated into all that is good, no matter what, immediately, no exceptions. Ultra-universalism. But in these times, I am really developing an understanding of the 19th century Universalists who said, I don't know, ultra-universalism? Really? For people who enslave other human beings and experience no consequences in this life? Could there maybe be like some temporary damnation? And then like eventually everyone could be restored to the ultimate love of which we are a part. It's called being a restorationist universalist. And I'm like, I see the value. Because it is a hard, hard thing to keep our hearts soft, to keep our souls protected, in these times. It is a hard, hard thing to hold the values and the principles that teach us that we must never dehumanize another person, no matter what. But we are not the first humans to struggle with these kinds of times. So bear with me as we take a little excursion into the past. In what is now China, there was a time from 475 years before the Common Era to 221 years before the Common Era, known as the time of warring states. This is this time of disruption in the reading that Janet shared with us. At this time in China, the feudal states of the area were conquering each other. The power of the ruling court was falling apart. Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in battles, and it must have seemed like the world was ending, or like it already had. And out of this time came what are known as the 100 schools of thought. These are the Chinese philosophies that teach how to live. They include some we still know about today, Confucianism and Taoism. After a time of such conflict, new guides were needed to recreate societies of flourishing. Confucianism, Taoism, and the other schools of thought are each concerned with teaching how to be a person in relationship to others, how to live in a society, how to be part of a family, how to relate to the great world. They involve cultivating a basic sense of relationships of respect, practices of patience, connections between the one and the whole. Confucianism is full of rituals designed to move people toward right relationship, from the smallest moments to the complete grand arcs of our lives. Sometimes people read Confucianism and they say, "This is a philosophy?" It says things like, "You should straighten your mat before you sit down to meditate. Don't try to teach wisdom while your mouth is full of food." Seems a little nitpicky, right? Michael Puett and Christine Gross-Low, the authors of The Path, What Chinese Philosophers Can Teach Us About the Good Life, say this: when we go through life performing most of our social conventions by rote, they lose their power to become rituals that can profoundly change us. They don't do much to help us become better people. Rituals, in the Confucian sense, are transformative because they allow us to become a different person for a moment. They create a short-lived alternate reality that returns us to our regular life slightly altered. For a brief moment, we live in the as-if world. So in other words, why would you ask the person at the coffee shop or the grocery store who is a stranger to you, why would you ask them, "How is your day going?" and sincerely listen to the answer? Well, you are living as if this person is important to you. And when you exit that moment, they have become a little bit more important to you. You are living as if we are all connected and valuable to each other. And when you leave that moment, you have brought a little bit of that into being. And if you've ever been in a taxi or a ride share with a really chatty driver, where you spent 20 minutes hearing about the struggles of their young adult children, or what they're really wrestling with in their other job, or the difficulties of paying rent these days, you know you can emerge from that ride saying, "You got this, I believe in you," to someone whose name you did not know 30 minutes ago. It feels like we need more Confucianism or something like it to live in these times. These questions of how to be a person in a society are very present with us. particularly in this intense time of conflict and push-pull between the forces of oppression and repression and the forces of progress and liberation. Last weekend, I was away with my family. We went to Vancouver, British Columbia. While I was there, I had the pleasure of attending worship at the Canadian Unitarian congregation in that city. And it was a service about evolution, which included the startling fact that about 30% of Canadians do not believe evolution is real. My colleague, the Reverend Sean Gauthier, quoted at length from the Episcopalian bishop Jack Spong in explaining this conflict and tension between evolution and creationism. And stick with me, because this comes back around to both Confucianism and our country in a moment. Creationism, according to Bishop Spong, is an ideology that begins with the assumption that everything was created perfect. But it's not perfect now. It's not perfect because there's been a fall from perfection. There have been mistakes that need to be corrected to get back to that original state of perfection. And evolution, on the other hand, says, well, that can't be right. Nothing's ever been perfect. It didn't start that way. It's not there now. Evolution threatens the idea of creationism because it says there is no original perfection. There is only this meandering path toward where we are now and where we're going. Sometimes things make a lot of sense. Sometimes they're kind of dead ends. But this is a whole different foundational assumption about how the world works. So there I am, standing in line in this Canadian congregation, waiting to shake hands with my colleague and tell him what a lovely service it was, and I'm thinking about America. I'm thinking about the forces of nostalgia making things great again. I'm thinking about the legal practice of constitutional originalism, as though a set of propertied white men in the 1780s and 90s created a perfect country. It was ideal. Only propertied white men were citizens. And we can't have anything now that they wouldn't have wanted in the 1790s, right? Because it was perfect. Until we broke it by getting woke. Does this sound like creationism to you? I remember vividly about 10 years ago when the Hamilton Broadway musical was all the rage, and Lin-Manuel Miranda was speaking everywhere all the time. He said, my favorite thing about studying the founding of this country is that it is apparent that it's not like it used to be perfect and we broke it. It's actually never been perfect. It's always been in progress. And I think you know that if you made it through even 2 of the 10 hours of the recent Ken Burns documentary about the American Revolution. Not perfect, not coordinated, not a precisely oiled machine. We have always been a place of deep imperfection and a place of working to make things better. We have always included dreadful wrongs being done. That is the honest truth of the history of this country, even before it was a country. And we have always included people working for more justice, more equity, more inclusion, a fuller realization of the kernel of the idea that this should be a place where all people can thrive. Dr. Heather Cox Richardson, a history professor at Boston University who writes a daily letter from an American. I'm going to guess many of you have been following her. And she writes these letters both to chronicle our times for the historians of the future and to help those of us living now understand the context in which we live and its relationship to the past. And she points out, this is a quote from her, "The heart of who we are is the struggle, not the achievement. To work for a better country, to expand the circle of inclusion, to honor the rights and the worth and the dignity of more and more people, that struggle is the heart of who we are, and we should claim it as such. And as with China in the axial age, because we are capable of describing, of claiming, of learning, of teaching who we are and how to be, now is the time. Confucius set out to reteach people how to be human in community with each other, how to live as if the better world were already here. And so it comes to us to ask, what are the kernels, the seeds, the as-ifs that we must teach and live? In Minneapolis, or from Minneapolis on Thursday and Friday, I heard from so many of my friends and colleagues who were awed by the depth of community care and solidarity there. In Confucian terms, the people of Minneapolis are living as if each and every one of them is essential and precious, because they are. When overwhelming numbers of people commit to living this way, to caring for each other this way, ultimately there is nothing that can stand against it. One colleague wrote, "I came to Minneapolis with fear, but I am leaving with courage." And we know that the as-if is not fully here. We know that federal agents killed a man in Minneapolis yesterday. We know he was a nurse who dedicated his life to helping others, whose final act was helping up a woman who had been pushed down, whose final words were, "Are you okay?" His name was Alex Jeffrey Pretty, and he was clearly living in the as-if world, along with so many other Minnesotans. But the government agents and the federal administration are deeply engaged in denying that world, including harming and killing and lying about what we can all see has happened. In Boston, Massachusetts last night, people gathered and they chanted, "We are not cold, we are not afraid. Minnesota taught us to be brave." And in Minneapolis on Thursday, when all those clergy gathered, they sang, "We are not afraid, we are not afraid. We will work for liberation, 'cause we know why we were made." It does not require you to feel it to be true, to chant or to sing. These two are practices for the as-if world. You can be afraid, and you can sing, "We are not afraid. We will work for liberation." Now, in our congregational life, it also comes to us to ask questions about who we are called to be. What is our gift, not only as individuals, but as a community, to offer our world? What is our part of the as-if? The Reverend Mark Morrison Reed reminds us, congregational life always occurs amidst the broader life of our society. We kid ourselves to think that it does not. And so when we gather, we have to ask the question, how do we hold each other amidst what is going on, and what can we do to make a difference? I want to bring you also, finally, some words from a recent theological anthology that our Unitarian Universalist denomination has assembled, talking about how our phrase that we put love at the center, our call to practice love, what that really means in a Confucian sense, we might say. What is love in action? What does it mean to center that? And what has it meant in our Universalist and our Unitarian, and now our Unitarian Universalist theologies? So I bring you this articulation from my colleague, the Reverend Ashley Horan, who lives and works in Minneapolis, and who is our vice president of our Unitarian Universalist Association. She writes, "Our universalism does not require us individually to love every other human. That's above our pay grade. It does demand that we behave in ways that do not dehumanize or degrade our enemies, even as we actively resist them and strategically work toward a world in which all people can access the freedom and the flourishing that love wills for each and all of us. Our spiritual task must be to resist numbness, engaging evil directly so that we may combat it with strategy, skill, and resolve. Simultaneously, we must also protect within ourselves the ability to resonate on that soul deep level with the movements of love, so that we may consistently summon our courage to respond to its call. And that work is best done in community, in our daily efforts to extend tenderness to our beloveds, in our neighborhood associations, our organizing collectives, our movements for justice, and in the pews or the chairs each week as we gather to worship together and to remind one another of the love that is both our birthright and our calling. So let us tell each other our stories of courage, of community, of care, of strategy and intention. Let us protect our hearts. Let us remember together that the struggle for the better future is at the heart of who we are. May it be so.
Now is the time for us to take our offering. That offering is a sacrament, a chance to recommit to this place and to all it means, to all that we work together to support. It's more than just a necessity. It's a tangible commitment to the values, to the work, and to the people of this incredible community and all the work they do. We know we are privileged to be a part of this community, and we like to share with others. So this month we are sharing with Family Promise of the Mid-Willamette Valley, and UUCS is one of a group of churches who take turn hosting homeless families who are working towards sustainable housing. We also, as always, accept donations to the Marion Polk Food Share, which can be placed in the little red wagon coming to the front of the sanctuary. Thank you for all the work you do, all the ways you donate to both UUCS and your wider community. You are appreciated.
We are a gentle
Will you join with me in our words for giving thanks? They're up here and they're printed in your order of service. To the work of this congregation, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our many gifts, including these offerings.
Each week, we light our social justice lantern from our community chalice. This is a symbol of the strength and commitment our members have to supporting the rights of all people. And as we come to the close of our service, we must extinguish the chalices we lit early this morning. It's a fire hazard if we leave them all week. But the light and warmth will be kept in our hearts until we rekindle them together when we gather again.
A few announcements. There's always a lot going on. There's likely to be more and more going on in these times because more and more is needed. So please, everything listed in the back of the order of service in the Friday updates, it is your invitation to be part of whatever is right for you to be a part of. I want to name that following the service, we have a congregational history activity. This is part of learning more of the history and the stories of this congregation. We have, instead of a regular boring timeline, we have a gorgeous depiction of a river, the river of the life of this congregation. It's laid out on tables in the fellowship hall. Get your coffee, tea, snacks, and then come over. Read what is there, add what you know. Members of our transitions group will be there to guide and host this exercise for adding in more and more to make a more complete story of who this congregation has been, which lays the foundation for where we are going. And then at 2 p.m., also here in the fellowship hall, we will have trainers from the American Friends Service Committee to talk about knowing your rights for those who may be targeted by immigration enforcement, human rights observer activities for those who are able to be engaged in that way, and that will include role-playing some scenarios. So if you're somebody who likes to practice so that you kind of know what it might be like, definitely come. And if you're somebody who hates role-play scenarios, come anyway. Because we actually know it's good for our learning to try it out in a safe environment. It builds our courage for whatever we may need to do out in the world. It is a long training. It's from 2 to 6. The trainers tell us it's really about 12 hours of content, which they have condensed down to 4 for us. So please eat lunch and then come back for that at 2 if you are willing and able. And finally, we periodically host the Cascadia Creative Conservancy, a justice theater project. And there will be auditions next Saturday here in the sanctuary at noon for a queer-centered adaptation of Wuthering Heights. You can see Lori Ann Schmidt if you have questions. That production will be going up in April. So if making some queer joy come into the world through a theater project feels like it is part of your as if in these times, come on Saturday, be part of auditions. There are many, many pieces of the as if world which we will continue to build together. So thank you. And finally, please rise in body, in voice, or in spirit for our closing hymn. We're going to sing number 159. This is my song. You may know it as Finlandia. If you cry, that's okay. I probably will too.
Song of peace.
I encourage you to stay standing, and if you are comfortable, take the hand of the people around you, or touch shoulders, or just connect in some way as we say our closing words. May faith in the spirit of life, hope for the community of earth, and love for the sacred in one another be ours now and in all the days to come.
All I heard was I thought something was moving, but I was like,